Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Fifer, served up by Wendy's on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. Download the Wendy's app today.
It is that time again. Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook out here at Kelly's Bleachers. Come on out and hang out with us. Shuttles to and from the game. And, of course, baseball calls for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink with no bubbles to fill up. It's the perfect game day sipper. Just $5 today here at Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound. Again, come hang out with us. I'll be here till 5:30, a little extended Wisconsin Sports Daily. Normally we're done at 5, done at 5:30 today. Then it's a leadoff show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook with a big old hunk of love. Tommy Wirtz, who's hanging out with us today. He's here 5:30 to 7, getting you ready for Brewers baseball. We'll hear from Willie Adames. We'll hear from Joey Ortiz. We'll hear from Pat Murphy, all coming up on the show tonight from 5:30 to 7. Speaking of Joey Ortiz, there's news on the Milwaukee Brewers. He is headed to the IL with a strained left hamstring. So Joey Ortiz to the 10-day IL. Jake Bauers reinstated from the 10-day IL. And Jackson Churio, as expected, sent to AAA Nashville to begin his rehab assignment. This was talked about earlier in the week that it would start on Friday, so no surprise there. Up comes Jake Bauers. Now, clearly, I was just messing around with Tommy Wirtz in the break going, yeah, Jake Bauers starting shortstop. Here we go. I don't believe that Jake Bauers obviously is playing shortstop. We know that. It will be interesting to see what the Milwaukee Brewers will do with this lineup, and they always take forever. So once we see the Brewers lineup and we have an idea of who exactly is going to be starting at shortstop for the Brewers, I will definitely let you know. And if I don't, our guy Tommy Wirtz will definitely let you know at this point. I would guess, and I am simply guessing at this point, that the first try, I think, may be Anthony Siegler at shortstop. I'm going to say that may be the first try, that they try Siegler at shortstop to leave Durbin at second base, or Durbin at third base, and Terang at second base, if they believe this is only 10 days, right? If this is just get through 10 days, we get Joey back, we're good, that makes sense. If it's 10 days, but they know amongst themselves that this could be a month for Joey Ortiz, but they're not saying, then I think you could see a more permanent move of where, okay, Bryce is going to shortstop. That's our best option. If we lose defense, fine, at second base, but we need a really good shortstop, and we're going to go with Bryce Terang at shortstop. That's how I read this situation. So if we see Siegler or Monasterio at shortstop, I think, okay, that's a good sign. That's what this looks like all weekend against the Giants of who's playing. Then I feel like, okay, this is 10 days. Joey Ortiz, they think will be back, and we go. If we see Bryce Terang for the next 3 days, then I start to speculate that this is going to be longer than 10 days, Charlie. That's where my head's at.
I think so, and I don't really want to see Bryce Terang moved around that much. He's a platinum glover at second base. It's a lot more fun to keep the guys that are that good and are that just honestly phenomenal. I saw today on the MLB, they on their Instagram, they posted their all MLB team like polls at this point, and Bryce Terang was the second all MLB team for them at this point in the season. I mean, if he's that good, you don't want to move him around. But if you have to, you have to.
Well, see, that's the other part about this is because there's some talk, and I don't think it was ever on the record by Bryce Terang, but there was some scuttlebutt, whether it be social media or whatever, about, I don't know if Bryce Terang wants to move to shortstop. I think Bryce Terang wants to stay at second base. I don't believe I've ever heard Bryce Terang say that on the record. I don't know where that came from. But in this situation, you need to be a team player. And if they ask you to move, Charlie, you need to move. My God, you're in first place in the division by 7. You've got a sizable lead overall in Major League Baseball for the true number 1 seed, regardless. Because let's look at something else. You've got this series against the Giants, right? Then you've got the D-backs at home. Then you go to Philly. They're competing with you for the best record in the NL. Or to Toronto, I should say. And then you're home against Philly. That Toronto series, you could say, well, that's American League, Sparky. It doesn't matter. No, but it does. Because if you think you're going to the World Series, this is going to matter here. If you end up with a better record than Toronto, you get home field advantage in the World Series. That series is going to matter at the end of the day. If you tie, the winner of that series is going to get home field advantage. So when we get to next weekend and the Brewers are in Toronto, that is going to be a big series for this Brewers team if you think they can go to the World Series, Charlie.
And I think it's going to be a pretty fun series. I think both these teams are playing some great baseball at this point, and I'm really excited to see what will happen. And with that extra added bonus of there being some kind of draw to this for the World Series, that makes it 10 times more exciting for the fan. I'm all in on it.
Yeah, no question about it. So there's your update again on the Milwaukee Brewers. So Joey Ortiz to the 10-day IL. That's not great. Jake Bauers reinstated. I'm fine with that. I don't know where he's going to play, but I'm fine with Jake Bauers being reinstated because if Hoskins is coming back, you're going to have 3 first basemen, and then Vaughn, crappy outfielder, and Jake Bauers, questionable outfielder. Those are going to be the other 2 positions for these guys. You're getting Churio back. Well, and then you get Churio back, and he's going to be in the outfield. Like, I don't understand where these guys are all going to play if you're not sending Andrew Vaughn down. And if we're saying Andrew Vaughn is not going down, Andrew Vaughn is playing every day, that seems to be the fan perspective on all of this, then I don't. We'll see. We'll see how this all plays out. Let's get to our green and gold update.
It's time for your green and gold update on Wisconsin Sports Daily, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan with Steve Sparky Fifer.
All right, let's talk about the Potawatomi Sportsbook. That is where you want to be for your fantasy football draft, people. That's where you want to be, right? 2 levels at the Potawatomi Sportsbook, and they're doing a very cool thing this year. You can host your fantasy football draft at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. On the 2nd level, you get private elevator access. So I can't go up to your fantasy football draft unless I have an elevator pass, which I won't. But everybody in your league can get up there. Smorgasbord of food, 3 drink tickets for everybody for your fantasy football league draft, which is an amazing thing. And you each have to pay your own nominal fee, but they provide a poster board. They provide stickers for the players that you're going to be drafted and a podium for you on the 2nd level to go ahead and make your picks from. That's all positive. That's all good things. And you're looking at a center screen of 2,000 square feet with like 30 different sporting games on at one time they can put on there. And while you're doing the league, you can make some money. Go down to the first floor of the sports book, make a couple of bets on games that you're watching while the fantasy football draft is going on. And by the time you leave, cash out some winning tickets, make the money that you put into the league, and the rest of the year's cake, right? All right, let's talk a little bit about our girl, Kay Adams. I think everybody here at the station likes that Up and Adams show. I think Kay Adams does a nice job. And she was at practice yesterday and had a chance to talk to Jordan Love. He talked about expectations.
You have 60 touchdowns over the last 2 seasons. How can that be something that you're trying to work on?
I mean, I'm trying to get to 100. You know what I mean? I need more than that. So I think there's always, you throw a lot of touchdowns, have a lot of good plays, but I think there's always some plays that you lose sleep over at night and go back and like, man, that's the one I missed that I could have made this throw if I did one little thing different in the pocket, the way my fundamentals, all the different techniques. So, I think there's always room for improvement, and it starts with the quarterback. You got to be able to put the ball right where guys need it, and make their jobs easy.
This is the thing when it comes to Jordan Love. And I don't want to necessarily say it's black and white, but it really all revolves around how far this team goes, revolves around how good he is. Even though they're going to take pressure off of him by running Josh Jacobs, using play action, utilizing the tight ends more this year, probably with Musgrave and Kraft, integrating in Matthew Golden's speed and what he brings to it. But at the end of the day, it's still going to be about Jordan Love. If Jordan Love plays well, this team can go deep into the playoff. Maybe a Super Bowl. Who knows? If Jordan Love doesn't play well, Jordan Love throws a bunch of picks and is throwing off his back foot and throwing errant passes and not looking well, then this team has no chance of advancing in the postseason. They still may win enough games to get into the playoffs, but once you get to the postseason, it's going to be nighty-night if Jordan Love's not at the top of his game like he was 2 years ago, against the Dallas Cowboys. That's what you need. So regardless of what his percentages, completion percentages in the regular season, none of that matters. The only thing that matters is playoff victories when you're the quarterback at the Green Bay Packers, Charlie.
Exactly. And I think when you look at the NFL, specifically the NFC right now, it's kind of the Eagles and everybody else lumped together.
Yep.
Which mimics a little bit of the NBA that we're seeing right now with that Eastern Conference, where the Bucks have a really big opportunity to take that next step and kind of take over that Eastern Conference while everybody else is down. The Packers are closer to the pack than I think the Bucks are right now. And I think the Packers need to show that these issues, again, that we've seen the past couple of seasons, that we're seeing in the preseason right now, are going to be fixed and are going to go away. And if they can do that, they should have a pretty big chance at being right up there with the Philadelphia Eagles. But if they don't do that, they're going to be even farther down in the pack while other teams around them take that next step. Seems like the Bears could potentially take that next step. The Vikings are still as solid as they were last season with a new quarterback. I mean, the Packers could find themselves falling back a little bit if they can't fix their mistakes.
That's correct. When we talk about this team with Jordan Love and how this whole thing plays out, Matthew Golden obviously is a big deal. And that connection that they have to be making here in training camp, in preseason, and then transferring that over to the regular season.
No, he's great. I think, like you said, today he's been doing some phenomenal things, but that's every day. Every day he comes to work, he's got the right mindset. And I think it starts with just, like I said, his mindset. He's trying to go dominate. It doesn't matter, rookie, first-round pick. He's trying to go out there and dominate and get better every day. And like you said, we're not trying to put too many high expectations on him because, I know his rookie year, there's going to be mistakes, there's going to be things that happen, but he's been doing a great job in practice. So I'm very excited to see him on the field and just see everything come to life.
How about not the mindset, Jordan? Tell me about those wheels. Tell me about what it's like for you getting to go deep and hit him at the blazing speed.
Nah, he's very fast, but I think more than anything, the thing that stood out to me the most with him is just his hands. I think he has a very good set of hands. He's always going aggressive with his hands, trying to make every catch, and he doesn't let it get into his body very much. So he's made some phenomenal catches, and I think that's the one thing that's going to be his superpower.
Have you ever tried to overthrow him just to see if it's possible?
We always talk about that. We always joke because Matt always says I'll be underthrowing receiver, so he's like, you can't overthrow anybody. So whenever we do, you'll see us flexing on the side a little bit. Right? Yeah, showing that arm strength. But those ones that you tell a guy, I'm gonna put it out there. I want to see if you can go get it. So we're gonna get a couple of those in the season to be able to test that speed on him for sure.
This is the thing when we talk about Matthew Golden and what he's going to be at the end of the day. I said it earlier when I was filling in for Thunder on Mason Crosby's show. I think he's the most talented wide receiver in this room right now. Now, that does not mean that when Christian Watson comes back that it will not be Christian Watson again. But as we stand right now, with Wicks, who hasn't played, with Jaden Reed, who hasn't played, but with everybody here that they currently have outside of Watson, the first-round pick, Matthew Golden, I think, is the most talented player there. He doesn't drop footballs based on what we've seen in training camp so far. He's able to separate in coverage, another positive thing for this football team as well. He's confident. Now it's just a matter of picking up the offense and doing the right things, right? And getting on the same page and building that chemistry with Jordan Love at the end of the day, Charlie. And that comes from reps. The problem is you got Jordan Love having ligament surgery on his left thumb. He's only playing in 7-on-7. He's now playing in team drills. So you're really still not getting what you want out of this training camp in preseason because of the Love thumb injury.
Definitely, but also if Matthew Golden is as good as advertised and he seems as dedicated as advertised, then I think it'll figure itself out. And if Jordan Love has himself a little bit of a safety blanket in this rookie wide receiver right away, I think that's going to open up a lot for this Packers team. I also think it's going to say a lot about all the other wide receivers on this team. It's going to be kind of a wake-up call for them. If Matthew Golden, I understand he's a first-round pick, but if he's able to pick up this Packers offense as quickly as he has been and is able to be a key part of this wide receiver room, I think it's going to say to those guys, we've had a lot of faith in you as a group. Let's figure it out now, or some of you guys are going to have to start making some other business decisions.
Right, and that's exactly correct. Let's get some more from the Kay Adams Show. Up and Adams, she was in training camp yesterday, and it's funny. She had on Jordan Love, and she was talking to Jordan Love, and all of a sudden he talks about his agent, and up pops Micah Parsons' name from Kay Adams, talking about Micah Parsons in Green Bay.
My agent, shout out Dave Mulligetta.
There we go, Dave Mulligetta.
Dave Mulligetta. He was a little pizza oven, so shout out.
A pizza oven?
Pizza oven.
Isn't Dave Micah's agent?
He is.
Micah Parsons' agent. I'm just putting that out there. That would be that would be kind of fun.
Hey, I would.
That would be kind of. I would just like to see that. I wouldn't mind seeing that at all.
I wouldn't mind seeing Micah Parsons in Green Bay either. And we talked about this earlier today too, that this team goes from being a second-tier team in the NFC, because I think there's only one team in the first tier. That's Philly, like you talked about earlier, Charlie. And then there's a bunch of teams in that second tier. You get Micah Parsons, you now are in that first tier with Philadelphia. You are now being talked about as a team that is a favorite to go win the Super Bowl with Micah Parsons added to that defensive side of the ball. And furthermore, if I'm Ed Policy taking over for Mark Murphy, I know one thing that must happen while I am in charge is we must win one Super Bowl. Bob Harlan won one Super Bowl, they got to 2. Mark Murphy won one Super Bowl, they got to 1. Ed Policy needs to win one now. You've got Goody with 2 years left on his deal going into the season. Same with LaFleur. If I'm Ed Policy, I walk into Goody's office, I sit down, shut the door, go, here, look, dude, I will extend your contract upon you getting Micah Parsons. I don't care if you have to trade multiple ones. I don't care what you have to do. Get me Micah Parsons on this team, and let's go win a Super Bowl. And if this thing backfires or whatever else, you're going to have guaranteed money locked in for another 3 to 5 years on the extension, and we move forward. This is my call. I want Micah Parsons. Go get Micah Parsons. That would be a gutsy move. That would be a put my flag in the ground. I'm in charge now move by Ed Policy, and a go-for-it move by the Packers, which normally never have go-for-it moves.
If you look at some of these other teams in the league that have premier pass rushers, I think there's only one other team that has a premier offense to go with him, and that's the Kansas City Chiefs and Chris Jones. Outside of that, Myles Garrett is on a pretty abysmal team in Cleveland. You look at
pretty abysmal. It's the worst team in football.
Pretty abysmal. I'm being a little nice there. You go with like Josh Hines Allen in Jacksonville. He's on a team where the offense just can't ever seem to get it going. And you look at some of these premier Max Crosby in Las Vegas and that offense that's still trying to figure themselves out. I mean, this would be the only other team that would have that combination. And I think that's something that you would be pretty confident could at least fight the Philadelphia Eagles for the top of the NFC.
All right, let's go to the next clip here from Up and Adams earlier today. Kenny Clark talking about the training camp fights yesterday that we saw between the Packers and the Seattle Seahawks.
I mean, I was in a couple of them today. Yeah, it's football though. I love the scuffles and, going against a very competitive team, a great team in the Seahawks. We knew it was going to be a battle today. We played a great game last year against them up there in their place. So we knew they coaches had them fired up and they was going to come out with some physicality and we had to match it.
That's the one thing. And again, we talked about this yesterday too. You can have Matt LaFleur being mad about the fights and you can have coaches being mad. They don't like fights because it takes away from getting stuff done in practice. They don't like fights because they don't want guys getting hurt. I understand that part of it. But the players, it's good. It's not bad. As long as nobody gets hurt, right? There's chemistry. There's bonding, galvanizing guys together, knowing that, hey, dude, this guy's got my back. We went for it, and this is how this whole thing played out. And now I trust him in week 1 if something goes down. Now, the guys that are standing on the side not doing anything, people may look at them with a little bit different of an eye kind of going forward. But, again, Belton's a rookie. Is in a fighting stance, ready to take on the world at that point. Zach Tom just signed a brand new deal with a lot of money. Dude comes into the huddle, decides to go after one of his running backs, and Zach Tom says, no, you don't. And away we go, and the brawl begins. And there were several fights. Like, it wasn't just one. There was several. And it was different guys stepping up for their guys. Now, I will give credit to Charlie Usen. Most of them were offensive linemen sticking up for their guys. You deserve credit because that's a lot of what it was, because it was offense versus defense on one side of the field. That's the other thing. This wasn't like everybody saw it. The defense for the Packers and the Seattle offense had no idea what the hell was going on. They turned around and said, uh-oh. And all of a sudden they come running down. They don't know what's going on, and now they're involved in the fight. Like, that's the crazy part about the whole thing, Charlie. It's one thing if you're in the dugout and your guy gets drilled by a pitch and your guy, the hitter, charges the mound. Well, you just saw what happened. You know what you're going out there to fight for. So you get out of the dugout and you go out there and you push, shove, dance with people, whatever happens in baseball, because there's really not a lot of punches usually. So you go out there and do that. In this situation here, I don't think those dudes even knew what they were fighting about.
No, but also if you go back to baseball, what about the guys in the bullpen? Most of those guys can't fully see
That's
what's
another
happening
one.
in that exact moment, but
Yep,
they still come
that's
running
true.
out of their bullpen. I think it's hilarious every time because by the time the fight's over, they don't even make it to the mound, so then they have to start jogging back to the bullpen afterwards.
Yep.
Like almost every time. But I mean, I think it's just that you want to go out there and defend your team. You're wearing that jersey. You're getting paid money. I think some of these guys that we talked about, when you're out there picking up your teammates and helping them out, coaches notice that. They see that on film. They're going to highlight that. And if you're trying to earn a contract, if you're trying to earn a spot on this team, earn some respect with the coaching staff, you're going to go out there and fight. If you've already earned that respect, if you're out here and you've been a part of this team, you don't want to lose that respect. You want to be out there and, again, fighting for what you're wearing. And I think that's a fair response, even if you didn't see what's happening.
That's exactly right. I'll get one more clip here as we do our Green and Gold update brought to you by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We're out here at Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound. Childs to and from the game, obviously. And again, we're out here in large part because of our friends over there at Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Come on out here. Get one for $5 out here at Kelly's Bleachers. Our thanks to them for sponsoring us, being out here on the road. Coming up on Monday, we're going to be at Brewski's over here on 76th and Blue Mound. And then Tuesday and Wednesday we'll be at Stenny's Lake Country, Stenny's on 5th and National as well. So pay attention to the Fan. Go check out the Fan website to find out where we're going to be, when we're going to be there, thefanmilwaukee.com. But you are going to see the Fan on the road a lot between now and the end of the regular season for the Milwaukee Brewers. All right, let's sneak one more in here. Matt LaFleur, and I want to get his thoughts on the camp fights themselves. We heard what Kenny Clark said about it. This is what Matt LaFleur had to say.
No, it's disappointing. You want to have a competitive yet disciplined team, and things happen, I know, on the field, and sometimes you don't exactly know exactly what happens out there, but you have to keep your poise, and if you throw a punch, you're out. So that's what happened.
So what did you see out there? I'm too
I saw
short
I
to say
saw a
anything.
mosh pit of a lot of things going on.
It was like the biggest fight I've ever seen, I think.
I wouldn't say that, but I wouldn't go that dramatic with it, but it's never good. I mean, you're just not being productive, and you miss out on plays, and some of these guys really need those opportunities on both sides of the ball, and both teams need opportunities to showcase what they can do.
Yeah, and again, that's typical coach speak, right? And the problem is, if this was a fight before game one of the preseason, he really couldn't say it as much. But because it's the last opportunity for these guys to really showcase themselves, make the roster, be at the end of the roster guys, that's why this becomes a bigger deal at the end of the day. And that's the one thing that kind of sucks, I guess, to a certain degree, because now you miss those opportunities, but now you have a game. Most of these guys that are fourth, fifth string guys, whatever the case may be, they're going to play a majority of this game. And they're going to need to pop on film and do their thing in order to make this football team. A lot of it's going to come from special teams, whether they're gunners or whether they're going after the punter or the kicker or blocking for the punter or kicker. That's how they make it. At the end of the day, Bisaccia, the special teams coordinator, is going to have a lot of say at the end of the day as far as who makes this team and who doesn't. Because what happens is they all sit in this room and they all go over who they like, who they don't like. And certain coaches are going to stomp and say, I want my guy. I need this guy on my unit. He needs to make this thing work. And sometimes guys will win. Other times they'll lose. But this here will help your coach get you on the roster if you play well. Coming up next, we're going to talk with Drew Wagner. We'll go inside the clubhouse, brought to you by our friends over there at Focus Baseball. Their fall mini camps now you can sign up for those. You don't have to play for Focus Baseball to sign up for fall mini camp, but those coaches will get your kids better. Go to focusbaseball.com. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studio, by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Time now for your fan forecast, brought to you by Utke Heating and Cooling. 80 degrees, mostly cloudy skies right now. High today was 81. No rain in the forecast for tonight. Low of 66.
What's the latest on the crew? Let's go inside the clubhouse with Drew Wagner of Forbes Sports on Wisconsin Sports Daily. Served up by Wendy's on 1250 AM and 1057 FM The Fan. Inside the Clubhouse is brought to you by Focus Baseball. Sign your kids up now for July open tryouts at focusbaseball.com. Ages 6 to 17.
All right, let's get to it. Our guy, Drew Wagner, joins us on the Fan Guest Hotline, powered by Gruber Law. He is at American Family Field. We have news coming out of American Family Field with some transactions. Notably, Joey Ortiz headed to the IL with a hamstring injury. You just got done talking to our guy, Pat Murphy, a couple minutes ago. We'll hear all of Pat Murphy coming up on the leadoff show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook with Tommy Wirtz out here at Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound from 5:30 to 7 later on this afternoon. You tell me, Andrew Wagner, should we be concerned about the long-term health of Joey Ortiz?
Doesn't sound like it. From what Murph said, the trainers told him it's a very, very low-grade strain. Murph used the term mild, and he wanted to emphasize that he made that term up. But, yeah, the trainer said it's very low-grade. They expect him to be back on the shorter end of the rehab calendar. They don't expect him to take as long as it's taken Churio. Ortiz seemed pretty optimistic that it's going to be a pretty short stint on the IL. He has no expectation that he's going to miss a significant chunk of the season.
So the other part about this, obviously, and I mentioned this earlier, if this is going to be a long-term thing for the Brewers, you would assume that Terang ends up going to shortstop. Maybe they figure out Durbin or somebody else to play at second base. If it's 10 days, then, you could see Siegler there, Monasterio there. It could be a host of different people there at shortstop because it really doesn't matter for just 10 days at this point. Is that what you're expecting, just a rotation of guys?
It sounds like it's going to be, for the most part, Monasterio. Durbin could see some time there. Kind of ruled out moving Siegler over there. It's not really his thing. And Murph didn't seem too keen on the thought of moving Terang over there, other than, if it was a late inning change. They haven't had him work out there at all since way back in spring training. It's just a different situation. It doesn't sound like Bryce Terang is going to move over. If it was a season-ending thing, it might have been a different story. But they're pretty much expecting to leave Terang where he is.
See, this is my thing. So back in spring, I remember talking to you when you were at spring training, and they tried Ortiz at second, and they tried Terang at shortstop. And I remember you saying, man, it actually looked pretty good. And I remember Pat Murphy going, man, that looked really good. And then Terang had the shoulder twinge or whatever he had with his shoulder, and they bailed, and they put him at second. My question is Terang's shoulder still an issue, and that's why he doesn't want to do it?
I think it's more of a matter of they don't want it to become an issue. Why risk it? Listen, it's simple body mechanics. You're making one throw, one strength over and over and over and over again. Then all of a sudden you're up and switching it and making that one over and over again. It's Murph even said, it's a different level of training. It's a different kind of training. It's not as simple as just sliding over, which to us, it seems like it's a pretty easy thing, but it's not that simple. Guys that don't do it every day on a regular basis, you don't just slide over there, especially when you're as good as Terang is. I think that it comes down to they don't want to risk the shoulder becoming an issue. I'm sure if they needed to, he could go over there and play just fine, but why run the risk? Why run the risk of putting yourself back in that position again?
What's the vibe from Murphy coming off of that series in Chicago where they win the front end, they win the back end? And now you get the Giants, but it's not only the Giants, Wags, it's Bob Uecker Umbrella Day tomorrow. It's Bob Uecker Celebration of Life Day on Sunday. It feels like it has a chance to be an emotional weekend for this Brewers organization, as there's a lot of talk about Bob Uecker here.
I mean, it's going to be an emotional weekend. I mean, even Willie Adames was talking about it being emotional, but honestly, that didn't come up because there's so much other stuff that they have to focus on. Like, obviously, yeah, it's going to be a sentimental type thing, but I truly think sometimes we're making too big of a deal of the emotion. Like, at the end of the day, these guys have a job to do, and they know that. And their feelings and their emotions aside, they're going out and doing. And that's not to diminish Bob Uecker in any way, shape, or form. I'd be the last person in the world to do that. But I do not think the emotions of that are going to be a hindrance. Like, I was in the clubhouse today, and it seemed like any other day. You know, it seemed like every day during the winning streak. It seemed like every day early on when they were struggling. And it seemed like it did when they were in Chicago. Like, these guys show up, they know they have a job to do. It's business-like. They don't worry about what they did yesterday, and they don't worry about what they have to do tomorrow. They walk in there and they're ready to do their job today.
Going inside the clubhouse, brought to you by Focus Baseball with Andrew Wagner. He's at American Family Field, covers the Brewers for Forbes Sports, and, of course, for the Fan as well. You'll hear him again coming up on the leadoff show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook from 5:30 to 7. We're broadcasting out here at Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mount. Shuttles to and from the game. Come on out, hang out with us, and as well, we are out here in large part because of Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. You can have one of those for $5 out here at Kelly's Bleachers. While we're here until 7 o'clock. All right, Andrew Wagner. Now tell me this, if you don't mind. Jake Bauers is activated. Makes sense. I'm assuming Rhys Hoskins is going to be activated here in the next couple of days would be my guess, unless you have something different. How is all of this going to work?
No one knows for sure. I mean, I don't think Rhys Hoskins is that close. He's going to be down there for a while. They got to make sure the hand is fine. And they're in no real hurry right now. I think for now, one thing is for certain, Murph talked about this today, they got to get Andrew Vaughn a break at some point. You know, the guy's been in there every day, and he's played well, but you got to get a guy off his legs. You got to give him a breather at some point. So I think they're going to do that for sure. But for the most part, Bauers is going to go back to the role that he was playing before. He's going to provide that occasional blow and left-handed option. He's going to be a late inning pinch hitter, defensive replacement, who can play a little bit of outfield if needed too. So for now, that's how it's going to work. When Hoskins does come back, I don't know. Tommy and I talk about this all the time. Like, how are you going to fit these pieces in here when you get Churio back, when you get Hoskins back? What are you going to do with Isaac Collins? What are you going to do with I'm blanking now, the guy they got from San Diego at the deadline. And I don't know why my mind is blanking. Lockridge?
Triple A, son. See ya. Bye-bye.
Yeah. You got a bunch of guys that you have to move around and fit around, and it's a problem. It's a tomorrow Murph problem. Like right now, it doesn't have any effect on what they have to do tonight. When that time comes, I'm sure they've got their front office guys and their math nerds are trying to figure it all out. They'll deal with that when they get there.
Lockridge and Siegler both are gone, as far as I'm concerned. Neither one of those guys should be on the playoff roster, and I don't see how either one of those guys end up on this roster when you're adding Hoskins and Churio back here at some point.
No, and that's probably how it's going to go, but you never know what happens between now and then. Something else goofy can happen. Guy can slip on a banana peel. It happens. There's no sense in sitting there and scratching your head over it now when you still have a bunch on your plate that you got to deal with at this moment.
He is Andrew Wagner inside the clubhouse, again brought to you by Focus Baseball. Wags, thanks so much for coming on. We get Quintana coming up here tonight against the San Francisco Giants. And we'll hear from Willie Adames. We'll hear from Joey Ortiz. We'll hear from Pat Murphy coming up on the leadoff show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Speaking of Adames, before I go, what do you think the response is going to be for Willie tonight? What should it be tonight?
Cheers.
Okay,
cheering.
Good to hear that.
Lots and lots of cheering for Willie Adames. I mean, again, man, the guy was the heart and soul of that baseball team. He was loved by baseball fans. Everybody and their mama knew Mark wasn't paying that money. So from that perspective, there's no reason to boo Corbin Burns. There's no reason to boo Freddie Peralta when he goes and hits it rich somewhere else. There's no reason to boo Josh Hader or Devin Williams or anybody else. Anytime there's a situation where your owner can't afford or refuses to pay, whichever side you're on of that battle, a premium player in Milwaukee, you can't be mad at the player for going and taking a whole bunch more money somewhere else that he's never going to get in Milwaukee. I don't have any issue with that whatsoever.
Right there with you, my friend. All right, we'll talk later.
All right, see you later. There he is, Andrew Wagner of Forbes Sports. Again, inside the clubhouse, brought to you by Focus Baseball. And don't forget, we are on the air till 5:30 today. 5:30 today. We're going to take a quick time out. Now, normally in this next segment, we would do things that we missed. But we're not going to do things that we missed. Instead, we're going to do why do people get so mad at the trader for going to, say, Chicago, but we're okay with these players picking and choosing whatever team they want to go to. We'll discuss that coming up next. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. And speaking of Wendy's, mornings can all start to feel the same. So if you're looking for a fresh wake-up call, look no further than Wendy's Breakfast. Try a breakfast Baconator with fresh cracked eggs and crispy bacon, a grilled sausage breakfast burrito, or maybe even a honey buddy. Don't even think about sleeping on Wendy's seasoned potatoes and English muffin sandwiches. Doesn't matter what you go for, it's going to change your life. Okay, well, it's at least going to freshen up your morning. Ready for a fresh wake-up call, it's got to be Wendy's. Coming up on the other side, we'll talk more about that. And again, we're at Kelly's Bleachers here on Blue Mountain. You take a shuttle to and from the Brewers game for each and every home game. And make sure if you stop out here, say hi to us. We got T-shirts, got pop sockets for your phone still. We got fan bags that you can get. We've got these stress balls that are still here that you can grab as well when you're here. Make sure you get yourself a Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea made with real iced tea and real vodka. Refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. No bubbles to fill you up. It's a perfect game day sipper. $5 for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Teas today. Just $5, Charlie.
That's a steal, Sparky. No better.
It is a steal. It is. I can't drink on the air, so I can't necessarily have one while I'm on the air, but it definitely sounds like something I could get down with and drink. More about who we can and can't hate as Brewers fans next. Welcome in, Wisconsin Sports Daily. Served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook out here at Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound. Shuttles to and from the game. Got all kinds of food and drink specials going on. Baseball calls for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth, easy to drink, no bubbles to fill you up. It's the perfect game day sipper. Plus, each Sun Cruiser is only 100 calories, 4.5% alcohol, making it perfect for anywhere your watch party takes you. Crack one open today and let the good times cruise, Milwaukee. Please drink responsibly. So again, Sun Cruise Vodka Iced Tea, just $5 here at Kelly's Bleachers while we're here this afternoon. We got shirts to give away. We got stress balls. We got the pop sockets for your phones if you want one of those. We got fan bags to give away with the fan logo on this little bag you can put stuff in and carry around with you. All going on out here. Wisconsin Sports Daily served up by Wendy's. We will be out here till 5:30. I almost said 4:30. It's already past 4:30. Till 5:30 this afternoon. Then Tommy Wirtz is here already. He'll take you up until 7 o'clock with the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. All right, let's talk a little bit about what we just talked about with Drew Wagner, Charlie Usen. And that is the idea of Willie Adames comes back tonight for the San Francisco Giants. I expect nobody to boo Willie Adames. There is no reason to boo Willie Adames. It should be cheering for Willie Adames. Dare I say, a standing ovation for Willie Adames when he comes back as a member of the Milwaukee Brewers. Corbin Burns, Josh Hader, Devin Williams, all of these guys were never getting paid by the owner of this baseball team. It was never, ever, ever going to happen. So they went to situations where they got life-changing money at that moment in time. But may I point out, none of them signed with the Cubs. No. None of them signed with the Cardinals immediately leaving. Like, the trader leaving Milwaukee to go sign with the Cubs to manage that team, to me, was worse than Brett Favre leaving and going to the Jets. Who cared? But when he decided to go to the Vikings, they made it known this was about getting revenge. That was the worst. This thing here with the trader going to the Cubs first, knowing he had an offer from the Mets, that was only, $7 million, and he went $1 million, told the Cubs, you got to go $1 million more. Otherwise, people are going to be mad that I didn't go to the Mets. So he gets another $1 million out of them as the martyr for the manager so they make more money later. Give me a break. So for me, that's the difference. Is there a difference for you as a Brewers fan as far as why you're going to cheer these guys when they come back, but you're going to boo the trader and the Chicago Cubs? That's the question that I have for you right now. Nicolay Law Fan Talk and text line 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Sound off with a recorded voice message on the Odyssey app, Facebook, and Twitter at The Fan Milwaukee. Don't forget, streaming all of our live shows right there on YouTube. Search The Fan Milwaukee. We got our shorts. We got our different videos there, all the live streaming. And our dugout chat is there as well. That's what we call our YouTube chat. So join the dugout guys there and chat away. We'll read the chat messages off of there too. Charlie, do you see a difference in booing the trader versus cheering for these former guys that come back on different teams?
Yes and no. I understand why people are booing Craig Counsell. I wouldn't be one of those people booing Craig Counsell. I would say he's kind of in the same boat as some of these players. He wasn't going to get paid by the Milwaukee Brewers. He's going to get paid by someone else.
They offered him the biggest contract for a manager in baseball, which would have been like $5.5 or $6 million was their contract. Now, he went and got a couple million more per year, but it wasn't like they lowballed him and we're going to pay him like the 15th best manager in baseball. That's not what Mark Attanasio did.
No, definitely not. But he also could have got more money elsewhere, which is what he did. I think a couple $1 million is a lot of money. I think $1 million, the amount that he took to join the Cubs over the Mets, is a lot of money for anybody. And you can't really blame him for wanting to take that money. I understand why people boo him. I know why you want to boo him. I know why you call him the traitor. I get it. I understand from the sports side of things, it's just an ugly look. But just from a human standpoint, that's the best option for him and his family, is to take the most money possible. And you can't really blame him for that. And that's what a lot of these players are doing too. Yes, Willie Adames didn't go to the Cubs, but I think the Brewers probably offered him a pretty fair contract. It may not have been the best, and he was going to get a lot more money elsewhere, but it probably wasn't that much of a low ball compared to what Brewers have offered guys in the past.
I don't know if the Brewers made him an offer. I don't know if they even had the conversation.
I feel like
they tried to extend him. They tried to extend him prior to that year, or 2 years before that year, whatever, they did have that conversation. But once it got into the season, don't you remember Mark Antanasio? Well, we can't afford him now. It's all done. Like, he's playing so well now we're completely out of it. I think they tried to sign him prior to the season. He wanted more, obviously. Then he bet on himself, went out and had the year that he had, and then got paid by the San Francisco Giants, and the Brewers were out of it.
But that means the Brewers offered him at one point. They had a value that they weren't going to jump from.
Right.
Atanasio coming out and saying that, we can't afford him now means there is a number on the table at some point between the two sides. So I think you have to give them credit for at least putting something on the table at some point. I think when looking at players coming back to a city, unless they have beef with that city, unless they made some statements about Milwaukee, unless it's Jesse Winker coming back and saying how much he hated being in Milwaukee, how boring it was, he's a guy that deserves to get booed. I don't know if anybody else really deserves that much. I get, again, the hatred towards Craig Counsell right now. At the same time, since he's left, it's not like he's been just poo-pooing the entire city of Milwaukee. I think he gives the team credit.
He said he never saw a George Webb.
That's pretty insane.
Come on.
That's a little disrespectful, yeah.
Come on, don't BS me. Don't. That's not going to work. Don't do that. In spring training, his first spring training, this is much different than what I'm accustomed to or whatever. And that was a shot at the Milwaukee Brewers organization. He's picked and choose when he was going to take his shots along the way and poke at this fan base. He's done it. And the fact that he lives here still and you can still see him at a grocery store blows my mind that he did not move and that he's sitting here amongst all this. I said before, I'd boo him in the vegetable aisle. I'd boo him buying milk. I'd boo him buying a thing of cookies at this point if I saw him in my grocery store. I won't because he doesn't live anywhere close to me. But I'm just telling you, that is complete insanity. Could you imagine if Brett Favre lived in Green Bay and was playing for the Vikings during the regular season, Charlie? How do you think Brett Favre's life would be living in Green Bay, playing for the Vikings at that point? He's not that stupid.
No, but again, he also made it explicitly about revenge. That's how you put it earlier. Yes, Craig Counsell has taken his subtle shots, but again, he leaving for Chicago wasn't about revenge. He wasn't mad at the Milwaukee Brewers. It was just that they gave him the most money possible. That was the best contract. So yeah, maybe he's saying stuff like that, but I think that's more for his fan base. Like we've talked about with Ben Johnson taking shots at the Packers. It's not really because he has beef with Matt LaFleur or anything. I think it's to get the fan base going. And that's what Craig Counsell is doing in Chicago a lot of the times. Just he's a lot more of a wimp about it, I think. I think Ben Johnson just came out and said it right away, and it was just kind of over with. Craig Counsell, he keeps taking those little ones, and it eats at people because he won't just outright say.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I don't necessarily disagree with you at all. I also will say download that Prize Picks app today and use code SPARKY, SPARKY, to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code SPARKY to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details. Let me explain this to you one more time in case you're not understanding what's going on. You play a $5 lineup, they give you $50. If every lineup you play is $5, that means you can play 11 daily fantasy lineups with Prize Picks for $5. Even if you don't know the first thing about fantasy sports, your odds are probably pretty good if you wanted to take a crack at this, and it costs you $5. So all you're doing is daily fantasy stat projections. And sometimes you can do season-long stat projections. So right now, like, for instance, Jordan Love. You can do more or less on Jordan Love with their stat projection for yards, for their stat projection for touchdowns, or stat projection for interceptions for Jordan Love. You can do the same thing for Josh Jacobs in running yards and rushing yards and so forth. It's that simple. More or less is all you're doing. And they got the flex play, which means even if you get one wrong, if you pick the flex play option, if you get the rest of them right, you can still cash with Prize Picks. It makes all the sense in the world. Plus, they've got the max discount picks going on right now, too. So, for instance, Dak Prescott coming up in Game 1, Thursday, September 4th against Philly, you can go more than a half a passing yard. Now, again, like Charlie pointed out, unless he pulls an Aaron Rodgers and blows out his ACL in the first play, he's going to pass for more than a half a passing yard, right? So they're giving you that max discount one, helping you try to win one of the minimum two that you can go with here with your daily fantasy. Another one, Avery Johnson max discount against Iowa State, a half a passing yard coming up tomorrow. These are all things you should take advantage of. Go right now, download the Prize Picks app today. Use code Sparky to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Sparky, Sparky, to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details. Take a quick time out. Come back on the other side. And I really want to dive into a little bit about being a Brewers fan and what you do before Brewers games, because that's where I'm sitting in right now, right? I have a bunch of Brewers fans here at Kelly's Bleachers hanging out with me, and they're doing their, I call, pre-gaming before they actually go to the event. So instead of tailgating, they're pre-gaming here at Kelly's Bleachers, taking advantage of $5 Sun Cruiser vodka iced teas as well. I'll talk to Charlie and you about that coming up next. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook here at Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mountain.
Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. Every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Fifer, served up by Wendy's on 1250 AM and 1057 FM The Fan. Download the Wendy's app today.
It is that time again. Steve Sparky Fifer with you as we broadcast live from the 1250 AM and 1057 FM The Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. You can stream us on your Odyssey app. You can watch us on YouTube as well. All you got to do is search The Fan Milwaukee on YouTube. You can watch us. You can check out our shorts, our videos, all that fun stuff there. Anytime you miss anything, you can find any of our shows in podcast form, or we download your favorite podcast app, whether that be the Odyssey app, the iHeart app, TuneIn, Spotify, wherever it is. We will be right where you want us to be at the end of the day. Coming up here at 5:30 to 7 o'clock, the leadoff show powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook with the big old hunk of love. Tommy Wirtz out here getting ready for Brewers baseball. You'll hear from Pat Murphy. You'll hear from Joey Ortiz, who is headed to the IL and will be out for 10 days. You will hear from Willie Adames, former Brewers shortstop, who the Brewers take on tonight against the San Francisco Giants. He talked before the game today. So lots of different things for people to hear from. Plus, you'll get the starting lineups throughout the show from 5:30 to 7. And again, Kelly's Bleachers here on Blue Mound is the place where you want to be. Shuttles to and from the game. And then while you're here, take advantage of the Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. No bubbles to fill you up. It's a perfect game day sipper for just $5. You can have your Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea out here at Kelly's Bleachers. We were talking about it before the break, and that is this whole idea of what to do before a Brewers baseball game. So you have the options, right? You have the options of, okay, are we going to tailgate before the game and bring our own food and beverage and grill out and do all of that stuff? And some of y'all, I give you credit, man, some of y'all have a party going on out there. You got the bags game going on or whatever other type of games you have outside of your car that's going on. Some people are like grilling shrimp out there and steaks and not even just hamburgers and hot dogs. Like some of these people take it to the whole next level. Then option number 2 is we're not going to pregame at all because we have kids and a family, whatever. So we just show up at the game. That's what I'll be doing tomorrow at the Brewers game. Go get my Bob Uecker umbrella. We'll be there, kids in tow, no pregaming, nothing of the sort. Then the third option is pregaming. Now, in this case, here at Kelly's Bleachers, there's a bunch of pre-gaming going on right now here on Blue Mound. Not only here, but at all the other bars on Blue Mound as well. People are drinking it up. I don't see a lot of people eating, if I'm being honest. I see a lot of people with alcoholic beverages in hand,
Eating's
Charlie.
for the week.
Okay, then. Having a few beverages and getting ready to head on over. I take that back. There's a tray full of food. They just walked past me, so clearly not. But I'm in the bar area where I'm at. I'm not in the restaurant area, so therefore probably more alcohol being consumed in here. Charlie, I will tell you that when I was young, like you, I definitely enjoyed a little pre-gaming before heading over to the game. I've never been a big tailgate guy. I think I tailgated the most when I was a kid with my dad, who enjoyed, firing up the grill at County Stadium before the game and having hot dogs and stuff and doing that. And then once I got in my 20s, I think I did it less than 5 times probably in my life since I became an adult. Just not something that I'm a big fan of one way or the other. But pre-gaming when I was in my 20s, yes. Now that I'm an old man, none of that happens, and I just show up at the game and do my thing. Do you think pre-gaming is more of a young person thing or no?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't even really pregame all that much when I go out, but I'm also just not a huge partier in general. Most of my friends are very big on it, though, and when we go out, I'm usually the DD or the guy that's keeping track of everybody. Every once in a while, I like to, and I think most young people do. But Sparky, there's also most of the time at those tailgates, at any pregame bar, there's always quite a few people that are more around your age, too, that are out there having a good time. You need a break from regular life once in a while. I think for young people, it's a way of life. For older generations, they have more
okay,
fun.
let's talk about that. Let's talk about that for a second, right? So I have a friend who was 18, actually had the first kid at 17, second kid at 18. Well, those kids are out of the house and gone. He's an empty nester, been an empty nester since he was like 36, right? So yeah, those people that had kids, late teens, early to mid 20s, whose kids are out of the house and are empty nesters, sure, they're back to living the single life again. Even if they're married, it's kind of a single life, back to going out to the bars, going out and having drinks and dinner whenever you want because there's nobody at home. I, on the other hand, do not have that option, as I have small children still at home and things to do on a day-to-day basis, whether it be sports or whatever the case may be after work. It just is interesting to me because the tailgate scene is so big in Milwaukee. We're nationally known for the tailgating before games. Like, if you went across this country and said, okay, pick a state, where do you want to tailgate? Doesn't Wisconsin win that in a landslide at this point?
Pretty easily. I think the only other place that I've been that really truly tailgated was Philadelphia. And it was like a weird tailgate because their parking lots are like in this like industrial area right outside the stadiums. Yeah, they take a tailgate there too. Other than that, I have never really been anywhere where they tailgate.
So down there at that alien ship for the Bears, I was down there years ago when they played the Colts, and there was people tailgating. But like you said, it's like a remote parking lot. These dudes got their Bears flags up and you're tailgating, but you got to walk some way in order to actually get to the stadium itself, and it's separated. It's not the same thing as I'm tailgating here, the stadium is there, and I've got like a less than 5-minute walk to get to the stadium from where I'm at. That's what makes it cool. Lambeau Field, right? That's what made Lambeau cool for all those years, was all of that huge parking lot where you had all of these tailgaters being able to do that. They ruined that, obviously, with Titletown District and all of that. You don't have that nearly as much anymore, but there's other things for you to do outside of the stadium now, and a lot of these teams are going that way with the villages. The Cardinals have that, and St. Louis with their new Busch Stadium. New England has that with the Patriots field as well. You have the same thing going on now in Green Bay with Titletown District. And what are we trying to get done in Milwaukee with the Brewers? People want sports bars being built up around the stadium. People want restaurants around the stadium. People want it to be a year-round destination. That happens, it's going to hurt things here on Blue Mountain for certain if it goes that way at some point. But that's the next step that a lot of people want to have happen around American Family Field.
Which I just think is kind of weird since the Brewers embrace the tailgating so much. They have the sausages walking around, greeting people and hanging out and giving them free sausage right back. They have Bernie Brewer walking around. They love showing off the tailgate gators on like their Instagram and TikTok accounts. It would be weird for them to just go away from that. I think that's also just, again, something that's synonymous with the Milwaukee Brewers that people just don't talk about enough. And it deserves more love because people do love doing it. It is fun to sit out. Whether you have a beer in your hand or not, you are still having a good time. And I think that's what matters most. And also the way Mark Atanasio talks about it, he's like the only owner I feel like that is in for people bringing their own food. So he has to spend less money on materials and stuff.
That's the other thing that I don't understand, man. And I'm going to sound like a Mark guy, but I'm not a Mark guy at all. But I don't understand how they allow people to bring food into American Family Field. I don't get it. People bring bags of peanuts in and whatever they want to bring in. So you're losing money at the concession stand by allowing people to bring in their own snacks. I don't know how much more family-oriented you can get as a sports organization other than letting people bring in their own snacks and screwing yourself at the concession stand.
But I also know from people that are the vendors at AmFam Field that sometimes the way that the Brewers do this is by catering out those vendors and bringing them in, where other stadiums own their vendors. They own all the stuff. They're buying all the different things. So it's never really Atanasio that's losing that much money when he's bringing in these vendors. It's the vendors that end up losing the money, which is why he's so okay with people bringing in their own things, because he's not the one directly losing money in these scenarios.
Yeah, no, I think that's an absolute fair point. See Sparky Fifer with you out here at Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mountain. Coming out, stop out, say hi. We've been giving away a ton of stuff today. Still got T-shirts left, got a few pop sockets left as well. One stress ball left, one bag left, fan bag as well. If you get out here before 7 o'clock, you can snatch one of those ones up. Tommy Wirtz will be out here from 5:30 to 7, getting you ready for first pitch over at American Family Field as it's Brewers and the Giants coming up later tonight. First pitch just after 7 o'clock. And again, we mentioned this earlier in the show, but it's Bob Euchre weekend pretty much, right? So you have Bob Euchre umbrellas tomorrow. Gates, I believe, open at 4 o'clock. And that's one other thing that people have to remember. It's only the first 20-some thousand that get these things. So if you want a Bob Euchre umbrella, you better get your butt there by around 4:30 at the latest. If you want to get one of these Bob Euchre umbrellas. Then secondly, then you have coming up on Sunday the Bob Euchre Celebration of Life deal. Bob Costas is coming in. I don't know if Pat Hughes is going to be there or not, but there's going to be a lot of notable guys that are going to be in attendance and talking and remembering Bob Euchre. That's going to be a very emotional day as well. And you just wonder how the Brewers play. Will they play inspired? Will they be kind of out of their normal routines a little bit with all this talk about Euchre? Because there's going to be national media in town for the Celebration of Life, I would think, coming up on Sunday, Charlie, where this is going to kind of be a national story. You're going to see a lot of these speeches and stuff across social media, and it's going to change routine for certain. And dare I say, that's why tonight's a big game. That's why tonight is a game where you want to win tonight and set yourself up in a situation where I only need one more to win this series, kind of going into Monday when the D-backs come into Milwaukee.
That would be nice. Like you said, it's going to take away from the actual baseball on the field a lot, which isn't a problem. We want to see this. This is what the fans are looking for this weekend. This is what the world of baseball is looking for this weekend. So it has to happen. But at the same time, the team has to be into the game still, too, and finish off this regular season because it's not for them right now. It's for you. So if you want to play for you, then you have to go out there and play your cleanest ball and try to have your mind right as possible.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Definitely agree with you on that one. Coming up next, normally we do this at 4:40. Today we're going to do it at 5:20 because the show got extended to 5:30. We're going to talk about things that we missed on today's show. A former Buck who everybody thought was going to end up being in a lot of trouble, turns out isn't going to be in a lot of trouble at the end of the day. And there's some talk from the MLB Network about most improved player award that may be getting handed out at the end of the year. And there's some Brewers names being bantied about. We'll discuss that as well. All coming up here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky with you, and don't forget baseball calls for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Teas. You can get one here at Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound Beer till 7 o'clock. Those are only $5 while the Fan is here at Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound. Welcome in. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Live from the 1250 AM and 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, out here at Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound. And this is where you're going to want to be before and after games. Got shuttles to and from the stadium. And we're here thanks to Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink with no bubbles to fill you up. It's the perfect game day sipper. So make sure to have one of those when you come out here to Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mound today. Only $5. Only $5 for one of those today. It sounds absolutely delicious. I cannot drink it on the air. Charlie cannot drink it on the air. Tommy cannot drink it on the air. And Mason Crosby does what he wants, so nothing I can do about him. So Tommy Wirtz is out here hanging out with us and getting ready for the leadoff show, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, coming up here at 5:30. What do you got coming up at 5:30 out here at Kelly's?
Oh, my gosh. We got so much stuff coming up today, right? It's the Celebration of Life weekend for Bob Uecker. That's going to be awesome to see. Really great sight. Today, we're going to hear from Willie Adames. He spoke to the media earlier today, old friend of the Milwaukee Brewers, right? And I didn't quite get to listen in on your conversation, but I heard your topic here. What is your reasoning for the difference of you can boo Craig Counsell, but you can't boo players that are coming back?
Oh, easy. He went to the rival. I mean, I don't think it's that hard to figure out at this point. I compare it to Favre versus Favre to the Vikings, right? I mean, he goes to the Vikings. He goes to the Jets, and everybody's like, whatever. You're on the Jets. Who cares? But you go to the division rival, the hated team, then it becomes personal. It becomes like, okay, screw you. You could have went anywhere else. He could have went to the Mets. And he chose to continue to pursue the Cubs job, even though the Mets job was already offered by David Stearns, because that's where he wanted to be. He called it his dream job. I mean, again, when you say crap like that, then you're going to become the traitor at the end of the day. Willie Adames didn't call the Giants a dream gig. Corbin Burns, like all these other guys that have left, you don't hear all that crap coming from them, but you heard it coming from the traitor. He's never seen a George Webb before. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, no, that was a clown comment. I'll admit that. Do you think that if Willie Adames would have just handled the same situation where it's like, you don't have enough money to pay for me and went to Chicago, he would still be cheered for? I think he would still be cheered for.
Booed.
Willie, with how impactful he was to Milwaukee, you still think? Is that the only team, the Cubs, then?
Probably.
Cubs, yeah.
I mean, I would put the Cardinals in that same rank and file. I don't know if other Brewers fans would, because I hate the Cardinals. But yeah, definitely the Cubs. Yeah, there's absolutely no chance. Listen, you may not believe Aaron Rodgers, and you don't have to believe Aaron Rodgers, but that man has said on the record multiple times, I am never signing with the Chicago Bears. Like, that's not happening. It's not going to happen. He understands the rivalry. He was a part of the rivalry, and he ain't about to go do that at this point. Not as a fan is what you want to see out of your favorite players.
What if Craig would have won a World Series, the first World Series?
Don't care.
That wouldn't have mattered at all.
Nope.
No.
But now, what if that idiot goes and wins a World Series with the Cubs?
Oh, yeah. No, I understand why Milwaukee boos him. I have no problem with why Milwaukee boos him either. But what if he would have, gotten to the top of the mountain, right? Then it doesn't change anything at all?
No. Now there's even less reason for you to go to Chicago. If you won a World Series here, then where are you going?
Right.
What's the issue?
Yeah.
You won one here. You don't tell me you have a better chance to win one there if you've already won one here. Like, then it makes zero sense of why you're going. And again, going back to that before, they offered him the highest paid contract in baseball at that time for a man. Like $5.5 million, $6 million.
But you knew he was going to get more than that.
No, you knew he didn't want to be here regardless of what they offered him, and he was going to go find more money one way or the other. If that dude wanted to be here, he takes the highest paid manager in baseball gig and goes, I'm good, highest paid manager. Thank you, Mark, for taking care of me. Let's go play.
Yeah.
The same dude who said, I'm just like you. I grew up here, and I played baseball here, and blah, blah, blah. All that garbage and lies and crap that I dealt with, which I believed at the time, that's all nonsense. It was all nonsense at the end. He wanted to screw the Brewers, and he got his wish.
Well, we can stop talking about the traitor. I'll say it. I'll respect your wishes on this show and refer to him as that.
The traitor, yes.
Yeah. The big weekend, though, just in general for Milwaukee, and I'm super excited to get things going here on the leadoff show today. Luis Olmo's going to join us at 6:20 today over at the Potawatomi
Where's
Sports Book.
Sardinia? Is he on vacation again?
Have you not seen that his awesome vacation he's on right now? He's on some cruise. There's slot machines on the cruise.
Still on vacation?
Oh, yeah. He's just going around the Caribbean right now, just hanging out, having a great time. Yeah, he went with his mom's friend, and they are living it up right now. Looks awesome. I'm going to have to probably change the photo we have of him to like something of him just chilling on a beach.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question. Charlie Usen, back in the studio, if he's listening, would you go on a vacation with your mom and her friend?
If it's for free, yeah. If they're gonna pay
You
for
are.
everything, yeah.
Yeah. You don't gotta pay for anything. You go.
Easy, dude. Yeah.
You're in. Tommy Wirtz.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My mom has paid for me on vacation before. I have no problem with that. But first of all, my mom, I don't even know. If you're like, hey, who's one of your mom's friends that's going to go on vacation? I have no idea who she's going to pick. I have zero idea. So there's a wide range, I guess, of where we could be going. But yeah, I mean, would you not go on vacation with your mother anymore, Sparky? Are you too good for that?
No, I'm not saying that. I just feel like there are some dudes that would be like, oh, no, I'm too cool for that. I'm not going to go hang out with my mom and her friend on a cruise. I mean, it's, you meet some girl and she's like, oh, who are you here with? Oh, my mom and her friend. Does the girl think differently? Is the girl like, oh, that's cute? Or is the girlfriend like, seriously? You're on a cruise with your mom and your friend? What's that all about?
What was that, Charlie?
I think that's a win. I don't think
it's
most
a win.
Would think that's charming. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
I would not go that far, but I will say that I don't think it's a deal breaker by any means. I don't think hey, my mom just paid for this whole entire trip here. She's gonna assume that your mom's got some money, right? It's gonna play a little well in that aspect, I think, for sure. So yeah, I have no shame with that. You know how I talk and who I am and how I am as a person. My mother is the same. I am my mother. I'm the same person. So it's just could I hang out with myself for a week? Yeah, I can do that.
Can you hang out with yourself for a week?
I do that all the time anyway.
I have vacationed by myself before.
That's sadder than going with your mother. I will say that.
I have done that before. Went down to Scottsdale. I've done that before. I've went down to Florida. I've done that before. And I enjoyed it because, like Tommy, I talk to everybody. So you make friends quickly wherever you may be. If you're in this bar, sitting at the bar, you're going to meet people. You're going to talk to people, whatever the case may be. And now, again, if you're not social, then going on vacation by yourself can become a very lonely adventure, I'm sure, at the end of the day. Charlie, you had a thing, MLB Network, most improved player in baseball. Who would be your candidate, Tommy, for the Brewers?
Ooh, most improved? Bryce Terang, right? I mean, Bryce Terang, another quantum leap, as the Brewers would say. He is, I think, the best player on the team. So if that's where my logic goes, by default, it feels like he has to be the most improved player.
I would say it would be Priester for me, I think. I guess Priester, Vaughn maybe here in the second half. I don't know if it's a full season, so maybe that doesn't count, but Priester would definitely be involved for me.
You were just hating on Priester yesterday.
Yeah, I'm not on that bandwagon. But if we're talking about most improved player to get a Brewer player an award, then yeah, I don't think it's hard to argue against that. Is there music playing or is that here at the bar? Okay, so we're done. Okay, thank you very much. It is Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the 1250 AM, 105.7 FM, the Fan Studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook, out here at Kelly's Bleachers on Blue Mountain. Thanks to Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Give for $5 here, going up till 7 o'clock tonight. Why? Because my guy Tommy Wirtz here is going to take you all the way up to right about first pitch at 7 o'clock. Come on out, meet Tommy Wirtz, get yourself a T-shirt, stress ball, pop sockets, bags, whatever the case may be. And coming up next, Tommy, you're going to hear from Pat Murphy, Joey Ortiz, Willie Adames, get the starting lineups, all of that straight ahead on the leadoff show, powered up by the Potawatomi Sportsbook here on The Fan. Have a good